So let's deconstruct one of the most effective and, frankly, one of the most financially devastating cyber threats out there today. Now, this isn't an attack that relies on some kind of complex code or overwhelming force. No, instead, it relies on one simple but incredibly powerful weapon: you. Your context, your relationships, your professional duties. It actually takes your greatest strengths and turns them into your biggest vulnerabilities. Let's begin our forensic investigation of spear phishing.
And this, right here, this quote, it really gets to the heart of the threat. This is the fundamental principle we have to grasp. So forget everything you might know about that generic spam with the bad grammar and the obviously suspicious links. This is a completely different class of weapon. This attack weaponizes familiarity. It takes your professional world, the names of your colleagues, the projects you're working on, the vendors you pay, and it turns all of that into a perfectly crafted key. A key designed to unlock your trust and completely bypass your instincts.
And look, the results are just staggering. In 2023 alone, the FBI reported over $2.9 billion in losses from something called business email compromise, or BEC. So what is that? Well, BEC is a scam where criminals pretend to be executives or vendors to trick employees into making unauthorized payments or sending over sensitive data. And guess what? Spear phishing is the #1 delivery method for these attacks. This isn't some minor issue. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise. That number, it represents businesses crippled and reputation shattered. This is the scale of the threat we're dissecting today. So, that brings us to our first section, the personalization paradox. Now, this is a strange but absolutely critical concept for your defense. It's this idea that in the world of advanced cyber threats, an email that seems perfectly legitimate, perfectly accurate, and perfectly tailored to you, well, that can be the single most dangerous one in your inbox. See, we're all trained to look for mistakes, right? Bad grammar, a weird link. These attackers know this, so they exploit our search for familiarity, and they use accuracy as their ultimate weapon of deception. Okay, so let's be really clear about what we're talking about. Spear phishing is a targeted attack. It uses meticulously gathered personal information to trick a specific individual or organization. And the goal is almost always financial, to get you to initiate a fraudulent payment or to steal sensitive data that leads to a big payday for them. And like we've said, it's the primary engine behind business email compromise, which is where those billion-dollar losses come from. It's not about casting a wide net. It's about throwing a single, perfectly aimed spear with surgical precision. So who are the targets? Well, you've got to understand, these attackers are smart. They go after individuals with specific authority. First, C-level executives. An attack targeting a CEO or CFO is actually called whaling because, well, landing one of these big fish can lead to a massive payout. Second, accounts payable personnel. Think about it. These are the employees who hold the keys to the company's bank accounts. Their whole job is to process payments, making them a direct route to the money. And third, human resources staff. Why them? Because they guard a treasure trove of sensitive employee data, social security numbers, bank details, everything needed for widespread identity theft. The common thread here, access and authority. Okay, section 2. This is where we really get into the nitty-gritty and deconstruct the attacker's playbook. You see, to defeat this enemy, we first have to understand their methodology. These attacks aren't random. They are a campaign. They follow a precise 3-stage system that's been meticulously designed for maximum psychological impact and financial extraction. This is the anatomy of the crime. You can really boil the system down to these 3 core phases. First, you have data acquisition and pretexting. This is the homework phase. Second, the contextual hook and isolation. This is where they engage you and try to control the environment. And finally, extraction and concealment. That's the point of no return, where the money or data is actually stolen. So let's look at each of these stages in detail. So stage 1, this is all about reconnaissance. The attacker acts like a digital detective, gathering intel from every possible source. They're scouring your company's website, your LinkedIn profile, news articles, public records. They're also using data from previous breaches, buying stolen information on the dark web. They're looking for names, roles, recent business deals, maybe even your CEO's travel schedule from their social media. And with all this data, they craft a pretext, a hyper-plausible story. For instance, maybe they know your company just signed a deal with 𝐾𝐿, so they'll build the entire attack around a fake invoice from them. Now for stage 2, the hook. This is the crucial moment. An email lands in your inbox. It looks like it's from your boss or a trusted vendor. The display name is perfect, the signature block looks right, the language feels familiar. They might even use a sneaky technique called typo squatting, where the email address is off by just a single letter. Think CEO@𝐀𝐟𝐟𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐚 of 𝐴CMEcorp.com. It's so easy to miss at a quick glance. And inside this perfectly packaged email is a request with two key ingredients, urgency and secrecy. Hey, I'm in a meeting and can't talk, but I need you to urgently process this wire transfer for our new acquisition, and please keep this confidential. That combination, it's designed to make you act fast and act alone. And this brings us to what security experts call the psychological choke point. The attacker has created a scenario where you feel this immense pressure to comply. Your boss needs you. The deal is important. It's secret. Every instinct is telling you to be a good, efficient employee. And that demand for secrecy, it's not an accident. It's a tactic to enforce isolation. It is specifically designed to stop you from doing the one thing that would expose the entire fraud, talking to someone else about it. They are deliberately cutting you off from your support network. And that pressure leads directly to stage 3, extraction. Under the weight of authority and urgency, the victim executes the irreversible action. They log into the company's banking portal and send hundreds of thousands of dollars to a fraudulent account. Or maybe they click a link to a fake login page and enter their credentials. The moment they hit send, that money is gone. It's routed instantly through a network of international mule accounts and often converted to cryptocurrency, becoming virtually untraceable. The concealment is built right into the crime itself. Now that we've seen the how, let's explore the why. Why are these attacks so incredibly effective, even against smart, careful people? Well, Section 3 is all about weaponizing your brain. See, this isn't about technical hacking, it's about psychological hacking. We're shifting from the external mechanics of the attack to the internal neurological battlefield, where it's actually won or lost. Attackers are exploiting the natural, everyday shortcuts your mind uses just to function efficiently. To really get this, we need to talk about two modes of thinking, an idea popularized by the psychologist Daniel Kahneman. System 1 is our fast, intuitive autopilot mode. It's what you use to drive a familiar route or read a simple sentence. It's super efficient, but it's also where our cognitive biases live. System 2, on the other hand, is our slow, analytical, and deliberate mode. It's the one you're engaged to solve a tough math problem or analyze a contract. It's protective, but it takes real effort. Spear-phishing is masterfully engineered to keep you locked in System 1, so you react automatically instead of analyzing critically. So these attackers are basically pulling 3 specific psychological levers to keep you in that reactive state. First is something called cognitive fluency. Because the email uses a familiar name, mentions a real project, and just looks correct, your brain processes it easily. It feels right, and that lowers your BARD. Second is authority bias. We are all socially conditioned to comply with requests from people in power. So when an email appears to be from your CEO, your brain's default response is just to obey. And third is the scarcity heuristic. The request is framed as urgent and time-sensitive, a limited opportunity. This forces an immediate decision, preventing you from ever engaging that slow, analytical System 2 thinking. So knowing this system and the psychology behind it, how do we fight back? This brings us to the most important part of this entire explainer, Section 4, the mandatory verification protocol. The tone here is going to shift from analysis to action. We are going to build a cognitive firewall, a set of simple, unbreakable rules designed to short-circuit this attack every single time. This is about empowerment, not fear. Okay, the very first step is just pattern recognition. Regardless of who the sender appears to be, you need to train your brain to spot this toxic combination. First, a request from a position of authority. Second, a demand for urgency. And third, a request for an unconventional action, like sending money to a new account or bypassing a normal procedure or asking you to buy gift cards for a client. When you see these 3 things together, an alarm bell has to go off in your head. This pattern is the attacker's signature. And when that alarm bell rings, you initiate the single most critical defense there is: mandatory out-of-band verification. Let's break that down. Mandatory means it is a non-negotiable rule, no exceptions. Out-of-band means using a separate, trusted communications channel. This is the crucial point. You never ever verify by replying to the suspicious email, because you'll just be talking to the attacker. You have to get out of the channel that they control. If the threat is an email, the verification cannot be. So what does this look like in practice? It's a simple 4-step emergency protocol. Step 1, stop. The moment you feel that pressure, that urgency, just stop.
Do not reply, do not click any links, do not forward the email to anyone. Step 2, exit. Close the email. Get out of the environment the attacker controls. Step 3, find. Locate a trusted contact number for the person who supposedly sent the email. And do not use a number from the email signature. Use a number from your company directory or your phone's contact list. And step 4, verify. Make a phone call. Ask them directly. Hi, I just got an email about an urgent wire transfer. Can you confirm you sent this? 9 times out of 10, they'll have no idea what you're talking about, and you've just stopped a major crime.
And that leads us to our final section. We've been through the problem, the system, the psychology, and the solution. Now we just need to distill all of this into one core principle, a new security mantra that will protect you and your organization moving forward. This is the single idea that ties everything together. The core lesson from all of this is both powerful and a little unsettling. Your greatest professional asset, your knowledge of the people, the projects, the processes inside your organization, is also your greatest security vulnerability. Attackers don't just hack systems, they hack your context. They turn your own world against you. Understanding this reframes the entire problem. Security isn't just about technology, it's about protecting the integrity of your professional trust. And so we end with this final protective mantra. It is simple, it's memorable, and it's effective. Maybe say it with me. Trust the protocol, verify the sender, never reply. Trust the 4-step protocol, always verify the sender out of band, and never ever reply directly to that suspicious email. This simple phrase, this is your shield. So we'll leave you with one final question. Now that we've deconstructed the attacker's playbook, you know their system better than they think you do. So what is the one process, the one habit, that you will change tomorrow to make yourself and your organization a harder target? Thank you for joining us.